I get asked this all the time, but a few weeks ago I answered it on the pod about who I root for when you're playing against my brothers. And I said you, obviously, because we root for the team who pays you.
Oh, yeah.
We want you to win, like the team you're on to win.
Yes.
Because they pay you.
Yes.
And we're extremely grateful for a job.
The opportunity.
And opportunity.
Yes.
But I also said that, like, whoever you're playing, like, whichever brother you're playing, I want them to have 50 points, but for whatever team you're on to win.
Yeah. You don't want me to have 50?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Damn, I'm not saying.
Of course. I want you to have, honestly.
It's a slight 50.
You'd rather me get 50?
I'd rather everyone get 50 and win.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about 15?
If you win.
Okay.
Sure. You have been Stefan's teammate, specifically, and you've also competed against him, but I want to know, how do you separate when you're playing in the game? Like, how do you separate the game from family?
Ooh, that's interesting. I mean, it's like anything, right? It's like in between, the 48 minutes that the game's going on, you're locked in and you're competitive and like you want to win the game. But there's always going to be little like jokes or something said or stuff happening on the court. Like, for instance, last game we played the Warriors. It was like the second to last home game before the season ended earlier this year. And Steph didn't have a good game the night before. I think they played Houston at home and he only had like 3 points. So I'm telling like some of the guys on the team, I'm like, hey, like, just be ready. Like he might come out aggressive today. He comes out aggressive and then like kids just playing the kid. The kids just playing with just like unbelievable joy and just having fun out there. So he's like, whatever, hits a couple threes and then he has 2 specific shots, one in front of our bench where he shoots it. He turns around, he's looking for me on the bench, like shoots and does the normal, shoot it, the ball's in the air still. Turns around, looks for me, turns around, couldn't find me. It goes in, he's already at half court, he's backpedaling, smiling, pointing at me. Then probably 3 possessions later, he catches it on the block, does like a 1 dribble, little fadeaway shot, and turns back to the bench before it goes in. It was like, what's up, D-Lee? And then just runs back down on defense. So like, it's always fun playing against them, but we find different ways to separate it. But when we're both out there on the court, trying to take each other's head off.
You should have flipped him off. You should have just had your middle finger waiting for him to like turn around.
Like, get out of here. Go back to the bay.
Go back to Cannon and Aisha.
And I'll see you in a week.
Yeah. Right?
See you next week. But no, it's fun though. And then same thing with Seth. Like Seth's personality is different, so he doesn't like talk as much. But even like on the court, when we played a couple years ago, he was guarding me and I got a bucket and then he came down, got another bucket, and then I got to the foul line and he's like, come on, D-Lee. I need that. So, just like the little games that are played in between, but it's always fun.
Seth's definitely not as vocal though, don't you think?
I feel like he's more vocal on the court than he is off the court.
Really?
Like with Stefan or with Damion when they're on the court together. I feel like I see him talking or smiling at least a lot.
Yeah.
But even in person, like Seth's the kind of guy, like when you make him laugh, you feel like the best person and like the funniest person in the world, Like, or if you get like a reaction out of him, you're like, day made. Week made, month made.
When I make him laugh, I'm like, what did I say that was that funny?
Let me write this down.
Write it down.
Just to keep
Write that down.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a funny Steph story. I remember when Seth was playing for the Trailblazers, the Warriors were playing them, and my dad and I were sitting courtside for some reason. Like the only time I've sat courtside at an NBA game. Well, that's a lie.
Okay.
But when I was younger. And Steph made a shot, turned around and like just screamed at my dad and I. And I remember like literally just screamed. And then I remember in the paper or something, it was something weird. Like in the news, it was like, Steph Curry yells at random fans. And we were dying because it looks like he's trolling like Portland fans, but we were there supporting obviously Seth and Steph. But I just remember he like turned around and just like he like put his arms behind him. It honestly looked like Cannon. You know when Cannon like yells, he like sticks.
Yeah.
That's literally what he did.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
That's hilarious.
Speaking of Seth, Stella has talked about her experience dating with overprotective brothers on the show, and she said Seth didn't even follow you on Instagram until the wedding day, until the ceremony was over.
This is true.
That is like my favorite story.
I think, or say that was a video. Yeah. We get in the car after the ceremony, heading to the reception, and I just went, typical. You go on Instagram, whatever. And literally the first, I go on Instagram and I swipe down and it says 7 seconds ago, S. Curry has followed you. And I was like, yo, it's lit. And Sydel was very excited about that.
I didn't even know he didn't follow him until that point, but
yeah, I had no idea either. But I was excited that it happened.
Yeah, you had to be legally married to her for him to follow you. That's
the most
Seth thing ever. I wonder if he follows Ben. I should check.